Welcome to Had6 channel. In this video, we will look into bad. 18 adjectives with similar meanings will be reviewed in example sentences. Let's get started. Bad, which means of poor quality or a low standard. Number 1. Crummy, which means dirty, unpleasant, or of poor quality. Crummy. For example, a crummy little flat in Stoke Newington. Number 2. Duff, which means of very poor quality. Duff. For example, he's made some really duff films. Number 3. Inadequate, which means lacking the quality or quantity required. Inadequate. For example, these labels prove to be wholly inadequate. Number 4. Poor, which means of a low or inferior standard or quality. Poor. For example, poor workmanship. Number 5. Useless, which means having no ability or skill in a specified activity or area. Useless. For example, he was useless at his job. Number 6. Bum, which means of poor quality. Bum. For example, they have had a bum deal. Number 7. Terrible, which means very unwell or troubled. Terrible. For example, he still feels terrible about what he did to John. Number 8. Awful, which means horrific. Awful. For example, awful, bloody images. Number 9. Inferior, which means of low standard or quality. Inferior. For example, I had to put up with inferior accommodation. Number 10. Disgraceful, which means shockingly unacceptable. Disgraceful. For example, she intended to tell him exactly what she thought of his disgraceful conduct. Number 11. Unacceptable, which means not satisfactory or allowable. Unacceptable. For example, unacceptable behavior. Number 12. Second rate, which means of mediocre or inferior quality. second-rate. For example, he replied tetchily that he never made second-rate films. Number 13. Pitiful, which means inadequate. Pitiful. For example, his performance was pitiful. Number 14. Lousy, which means unwell. Lousy. For example, Doc Reed dishes me out a few vitamin pills when I'm feeling lousy. Number 15. Sorry, which means feeling regret or penitence. Sorry. For example, he said he was sorry he had upset me. If you have better examples in mind, please share them in the comment section below. It is now the time to hit the subscribe button.